Hello, welcome back to my blog. My name's Color Newcomb and I'm creating a card for Creative Expressions today. It will be a wedding card and I shall be using one of these wedding sentiment stamps from Just Right Clear Stamps. I shall be stamping that onto one of Sue Wilson's pierced tags, framing it with John Lockwood's rose frame, then matting and layering using Color Cloud ink, and I've also used the embossing folder by Sue Wilson, the Dotty Daisy design. I should be showing you a number of techniques today using Gilding flakes and Cosmic Shimmer Color Cloud ink and some mica pigments too. I've created the layers, and first of all I've stamped John Lockwood's rose frame. I've stamped it onto white foundation card, the milk white foundation card from Creative Expressions, and I've put the gilding flakes on it already, the Cosmic Shimmer gilding flakes in Aurora Lights. So I've picked out the silver flakes from there. I'll show you how we do this later on. I just wanted to get this done for speed today. So to start with, I shall be colouring the layer with my Color Cloud. You can see that I've used the gilding flakes already, they're all over the place. Okay, so straight with my sponge, straight onto the layer that's going to go beneath the rose frame. I'm just going to colour tint this card all over so we can keep all the colours coordinated. So all we do is just take the ink straight from the pot with the sponge and just work in a circular motion all over the page. You can see these sponges are brilliant for blending. They don't leave any of the harsh lines that perhaps you would get with other blenders. I know a lot of people have struggled with blending in the past using other inks and other types of blender, but this really does seem to be foolproof. And look how quick you can cover a piece of paper. You can just keep building up the colour for intensity, and you can stop when you get the amount of colour that you like there. Also quite like there's a slightly darker edge just around the outside there. Embossed layers, the Dotty Daisy. I should keep most of it white there, but I just want to pick up the detail in the embossing, so I don't need any more ink on my sponge. I'm just going to rub the ink that I do have on the sponge just lightly, and hopefully you can see there, just picking up the detail. So it gives a very subtle effect. Hopefully you can see that just there. I shall use my Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue to glue the layers together. Okay, I shall again create a border with the Cosmic Shimmer, keeping the colour consistent as we go through. Now what I shall do on the edge of this, I shall add some gilding flakes. what I've done is I've taken a piece of cut and dry foam and the flake and glitter glue by Cosmic Shimmer. And what you do, you take a tiny bit of the glue onto the right side of the cut and dry foam. Use a spatula and just work that glue into the foam, and what you're creating in effect is like an ink pad. But instead of ink you're using glue this time. Okay, it's incredibly sticky, this glue. Right, I just want a subtle border around the outside, so all I'm going to do is just run along the edge. With the glue. Now if you were stamping with this, you would then ink your stamp with this as you would do a normal ink pad. You just take your glue, you mount your rubber stamp or your acrylic stamp onto an acrylic block and just ink up the stamp and stamp onto the card as normal. Then the next process, part of the process is the same. Take your gilding flakes. I've tipped mine from the big tubs that they come in into one of these plastic lidded boxes, mainly because the flakes expand and they're incredibly light and fly away, so I suggest if you do this, make sure there's no windows open, no air conditioning, because you will be covered in flakes. Then all we do, now because I'm just doing the edge, I'm just going to dip the edge into the pot there and just run my fingers along so that all the areas that I covered in glue are in contact with the silver flakes. Again, if it was a stamped image, you just pick up parts of these flakes and put them over your stamped image, making sure all the areas are covered. You can, once they're on and stuck onto the card, you can be quite rough. Make sure all the areas are covered. Now you see, if you do get the glue on your fingers also get foiled as well. So take off the excess. Try and contain as much as we can into the pot. Obviously we want to use these later. We want them to stretch as far as we can go. Super gilded fingers now. I'm just taking a piece of kitchen towel. You just work off and just buff away the flakes that aren't stuck on. Leave us with a nice smooth image. If you were using a detail stamp and you needed to enhance and just smooth away extra gilding flakes from the detail of the image, you can use one of these scrubby sponges, which won't damage your paper, and all you do is just work away. Just gently, and that will take away extra flakes from the detail. Okay. Glue these layers together. I'll just turn that over. You'll mount that direct onto the card rank. I've actually used some linen card that I have to create a square card. I just like the texture. The wedding cards are I like to have them nice, simple colour combinations, but using lots of textures just gives that elegance. So that's the card base prepared. Right, now for our main image, as I say, I've already stamped to see the image there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some colour to this, just subtle colour, again using the Colour Cloud to keep combinations of colour all the way through. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to use like a watercolouring technique. I should be using one of my water brushes. I'm going to take some of the Colour Cloud and I'm going to put that onto my glass mat and create. You really can't see it with this colour, it's incredibly pale, but sort of really squidge the sponge onto there so you can, the colour really pulls on the glass mat. And what I'm going to do, just keeping this on a paper towel so I don't have mica powder go everywhere. I shall use some of this mica powder, iridescent mica powder by Cosmixture. I'm going to pick up a tiny amount of that on, just on a little toothpick, and I'm just going to put that, probably not quite that much actually, just move that bit away. I should put that into the Colour Cloud ink that's sitting here, and I'm going to mix that together. But basically you're creating yourself an iridescent, you can see that, the sun's gone in now, so I don't know if you'll be able to see that well enough. There we are. I'm going to basically create myself an iridescent paint. I'm picking up the rest of the Colour Cloud ink there. A little bit of sheen to the leaves, so I should take myself another water brush, pick up some of the mica powder, move it away from the Colour Cloud, add a tiny bit of water, not too much water now, just take a bit more with a damp paintbrush, just so I've got a bit of an iridescent, clear iridescent paint going, and then I'm just going to wash that over the leaves. Add a bit more powder. You really don't want to be using too much water at all because it will just saturate the paper that you're using here, and it'll make it go make it go all crinkly. Now you can see there that when I stamped the image with the flake and the glitter glue, didn't quite take up the top there, and I'm left with a patch without any design on. Wasn't overly worried about that because I should be adding the sentiment onto a tag and that will cover that area over. So just one of these little tips. As a crafter, if something doesn't work out quite as perfect as you would want, there's always a way around it. That's incredibly subtle on the frame, but it will just add a little bit of lift when the design catches the light. Okay, this layer is ready. All I'm going to do is I'm going to edge and just finish off. Give that faux layered look around the edge of the frame. Now what you didn't see me do, when I stamped this frame, the centre is actually solid. What I'd done is I took a craft knife and all I'd done was just followed the edge of the frame around, so I have this aperture in the middle. It just means then that I can have the colour showing through. So we're going to layer this, 3D this into the centre. There. The Color Cloud ink I'm using, by the way, the pink, is Pretty in Pink. It's a gorgeous soft colour. What I need to do is create the sentiment. To use black archival. This gives a good solid impression. Nice coverage. We should stamp straight down into the centre. I'm just going to ink around the edge of the tank. I'll keep most of it white. Take away some of the ink. Just go around the outside. I'm going to take off some of the excess ink here. Just onto a paper towel. And just go around and blend that even more gently. And I'm just going to use some silicone gel, just so as I can 3D that onto the centre of the card. You can put that at an angle and tuck that within the frame there, and you can see there the top of the stamp that hadn't stamped properly has now been hidden. I have some Silver Luster Cosmic Shimmer PVA glue. These can add just little pearl dots to add just a tiny bit of detail to the tag. Just add three there. Don't need much more than that. They'll dry with a lovely soft pearlescent finish. I'll just use a dab of silicone again. fix that on there. There we are. Finished wedding card using Color Cloud, Gilding flakes and Just Right stamps. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.